All right, from one championship team to a champion right here. We're joined by Solin Piearcy. She's a wrestler from Menlo College. Solin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess you're a champion. You just won a national championship in your weight class. Tell us what weight class that was and how it all went down. We'll get into your full wrestling journey, but tell us about the good stuff first, because you're probably still on cloud nine.
Yeah, it actually hasn't hit me yet. And it's interesting because this year it's the first ever NAIA wrestling nationals for females. So we actually had 2 national tournaments this year. The original one that we've been competing in is WCWA, which is the Women's Collegiate Wrestling Association. That was earlier in February, and that was an astounding win for the team and for my individual title. So I wrestle at 136s. I'm a junior at Menlo College. Like I said, took first at the WCWA Nationals. And this past weekend, the team and I also took first at the NAIA Nationals in North Dakota.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Now, heading into these events, did you have a sense that you guys were the top level of competition, that you could possibly come out with titles?
We definitely set those goals at the beginning of the season. Every year, we always set the team goals. This year especially, we knew that we could do it, especially. Because when I came in as a freshman, we were ranked 5th, and we placed 5th at Nationals, the WCWA Nationals. And we always believed that we were the underdogs, and we just kept practicing, and we had a great team dynamic, and we just were really persistent. And the following year, last year, we also took 5th, and this year we had a huge jump and a huge accomplishment, and we pulled through. So yeah, we just kept doing our thing, and we knew that one day we were gonna make it, so.
One day's now.
Yeah.
Right. Before I ask my next question, I have a quick question for you. What city in North Dakota were you guys in? Do you remember?
We were in Jamestown.
Jamestown. Yeah. Different. I've been to Jamestown, North Dakota, because I lived out there. Yeah, it's a very, very, very different city.
Pretty different from the Bay Area.
I know.
There was a snowstorm. It was a little terrifying.
Wow. Okay, anyway, enough of me reminiscing on my North Dakota days. How did you get into wrestling? You know, how did you get into the sport, and when did you start competing, I guess?
I started about 10 years ago. My dad competed in judo internationally. He grew up in the sport. So he put me and my brother in when we were in elementary school. And then I grew up in San Jose. So I went to Hyde Middle School, and I started wrestling. It was similar to judo. Was the only girl on the team for 6th grade. Ended up having a few more female athletes on the team. And then went to Cupertino High School. Did 4 years there. 4-time CCS champ, section champ. And then a 4-time state placer my senior year. Won states, won nationals. And then I just ended up at Menlo. It was just a perfect journey.
Nice.
When did you kind of realize, oh, not only do I like doing this, but I might be kind of good at it?
I would say probably my senior year. To be completely honest, throughout high school, I really didn't I tried not to put the pressure on myself. I would just go out there, do my thing. And even now, I still just go out there and do my thing. I just have fun. I always go in the warm-up area, put music in, and I just go out there and try my best. But yeah, I mean, I definitely put in a lot of work, so I do have the confidence to go out there and compete my best.
Cool. Now, you said this was the first year that NAIA had a women's national tournament. Have you seen the sport grow in the women's ranks over the years? Do you still think it has a long way to go? How do you feel on that and just women competing in the sport?
It's definitely come a long way. I know Menlo especially. My freshman year, I had a few seniors, and they still come back. It's pretty cool. The alumni still come back and help us out. But they were telling me about their stories, how they got recruited. There was only like 6 other teammates. Right now, we have 31 females on the team.
Wow.
Yeah. We had to share the gym. We rolled out the mats every morning at like 6 in the morning. Yeah, it's been a long way. But it's just insane because when I came in, I signed as a freshman, I didn't think that I would be able to see NAIA Nationals. It was amazing. I feel so blessed to have this opportunity because it's especially interesting for the junior class. We signed up for 4 nationals, WCWA, and then we are given another chance by our junior year to compete in another 4. Yeah. So me and my junior friends, and we're just talking about how we can make up for what we didn't accomplish the first 2 years. And there's like all these schools popping up with women's programs. Every year I see some new teams, some new faces, and then just seeing high school talent come in, it's incredible. And it's just so important for females to be in this male-dominated sport because it evens out the playing field, not in just wrestling, but just in, like, you know, sports in general. And we really, a lot of the girls in the team, I could say that we're trying for the world team, the Olympics. I remember as a freshman in high school, I actually met Adeline Gray before she was an Olympian. And she told me that it's so important for females and young girls to pursue their dreams and just keep at it, even though it's like a male-dominated sport. And I specifically remember her saying, I am going to be an Olympian one day. Wow. So it's very aspirational. It's just from me 3 years back, remembering that and being on this journey, it's just insane.
Well, now your accomplishments are also ones that young girls who are coming up in the sport will be able to look up to. So what would your advice be? What does it take to get to a high level in this particular sport?
Well, it's definitely, wrestling, I would like to say, is a very interesting sport. It teaches a lot about life lessons, not just like the physical aspect of training. There's a lot of, I would say it's about like 90% mentality and how you manage yourself. Our team, we hold accountability, respect, and communication, as well as hard work ethic, very high up there. And so it's just, it's been a really eye-opening experience for me. And for high school girls who want to pursue their dreams, I always go back to some high schools. I go back to my high school. Me and my teammate, Hiba, we go down to SoCal, and we did a clinic for one of the schools down there in Orange County. And so it's just great going back to the community, giving them an opportunity, telling them and like just exposing them to paths that they can pursue, not just for wrestling itself, but for career opportunities, setting yourself up for more opportunities in life and in general. I know for Menlo, it's just completely surreal. We're still trying to soak everything in. We just came back. But for Menlo, it was like our first national championship as a school and like the first since like 92 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were able to get 2 national titles. Team GPA was like 3.49. It's pretty insane.
The school must be very proud of you guys.
So you mentioned your father and your brother were both involved in combat sports. Mm-hmm. I feel like, especially in combat sports, especially wrestling, you learn a lot about yourself because it's so physically and mentally grueling. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I would definitely describe my relationship with wrestling as a love-hate relationship. Definitely some ups and some downs. I mean, for practices, it's definitely grueling. We have phases. Our coaches love to make increments, and we build up and we peak just at the right moment. So I remember this past season, there was a point in time I was just wrestling nonstop for about a straight hour, just hardcore, getting beat up by my teammates, by other coaches, by alumni. And there were a lot of times where I wanted to break down and just like take a breather, but it's just pushing through. There's that adrenaline, but there's also the satisfaction. Just being able to accomplish that, being able to do the one shot that you wanted to do, that technique. And then definitely off the mat too, getting the right nutrition, hydration, the other stuff as a student athlete, especially trying to be on top of your grades while you're traveling so much. But yeah, it's incredible.
What does post-collegiate life look like for a wrestler? Do you think it's something that you'll, try to make a career out of once you graduate?
I would say that's definitely something I've been considering now that I'm a junior. But I'm not exactly sure where I want to go with wrestling. I know I want to keep giving back to the community. I know I want to keep going back to Menlo and to other high schools, promoting the sport, being an advocate. Definitely want to try for the World Team Trials this May. It'll be my first international qualifying tournament that I'll be competing in. So we'll see how that goes. And 2020 Tokyo is down the line, so we'll see. I'll just try my best and see where life takes me.
All righty, now just last question for you, Solin Piearcy, Menlo College national champion. Take us through that national championship bout that you had where you were actually crowned. How long did it go? Take us through the ins and outs of that match where you became a champion.
Wow. Well, for the WCWA Nationals, the one in February, that was so insane. I would say that one was the most emotional and just mentally draining. Because that was the one that we all signed up for, that we've been training for since the get-go. And I remember just taking one match at a time. My coaches, my family, they're always just telling me, one match at a time, do your stuff, and you'll be fine. So I remember teching my way through the tournament, and it was just insane. My semifinals match, I heard everybody. It was like a speaker, just all of Menlo. We had family from people from Hawaii, from Menlo just come out. And I remember I just needed one more point. And when I did it, everybody was screaming. I was in the finals. I was going to the finals. And I was going to wrestle against this opponent, my rival that I lost to the previous year at Nationals.
Where was this, by the way?
This one was in Life University, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. So the finals match was insane. It was completely surreal, under the spotlight and everything. And I remember going into the second period, the last 3 minutes, I just told myself I was down by a few points, that if I just get my shot, I'm able to do it. Picked her up, slammed her, got the legs, laced her for the tech. Tech is 10 points more than the other person that scored. And I remember getting my hand raised. The team won by 4.5 points. Wow. And it just it meant that everybody contributed. Every single person that went on that trip, that was back at home, all the coaches, all their sacrifices. It was insane. I looked at the stands, everybody was cheering, people were crying, everybody was hugging each other. That was insane.
That's incredible.
In the NAIA tournament, that one was just a cherry on top. Yeah. That one was also just so surreal.
Yeah, you don't want to go out to North Dakota and come back empty-handed, especially from California. Well, Solin, thank you so much for joining us. It was amazing hearing your story. It was amazing hearing the growth in the sport of wrestling for women, and we look forward to continuing to follow your journey because you still have a year left at Menlo.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, well, Solin Piearcy, and now we will go to a quick break, and we'll have more KRON on after this.